Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, the best place to find tips, activities, resources, recommendations, suggestions for language lessons. If you don't know me, my name is Mary and today I'm here to talk about most students' worst nightmare, phrasal verbs. So if you have been teaching English for a while, you know that most students, even beginner students, they're going to come to you and say, oh teacher, I've got a big problem with phrasal verbs. I really need to work on my phrasal verbs. And we are like, well, how about, working on your simple present first or simple past, or let's just start with prepositions. But so I don't know about your students, but most of my students, I feel they've got a big trauma because at school they were giving endless lists of phrasal verbs, with no context at all, and they couldn't memorize anything, they couldn't learn anything, so they do feel they are not able to learn them. Yeah, and I know that we are not psychologists, to help people overcome their traumas, but if it's a grammar trauma, yes, it has to do with you. Okay, so if we think a bit about it, it's very easy to see where this feeling of hate towards phrasal verbs comes from. It's just that we don't like what we don't understand. And phrasal verbs, really, there's no logic behind it, so what is the logic in putting a verb, getting a verb, putting together with a preposition, and then you've got a completely random and different meaning. So really, they are scary. Yeah, so when a student of mine tells me, teacher, I'm not going to be able to learn phrasal verbs, we can connect, I hate them, they hate me. What I do is, well, in case they are not absolute beginners, I just ask them a quick question. I go like, what time did you wake up today? They go, well, I think I woke up at 7, I think. Why? You go, and here you go. So you've just used a phrasal verb. And they try to justify themselves, they try to say, no, it's because that's a very basic one, it's very common, but I can guarantee, teacher, I know nothing about them. So if they insist a lot, let me just share my screen with you so I can show you exactly what I show them. I've got a slide with some basic phrasal verbs, and let's say that most people, they are going to know what they mean, especially if they use a computer. So to log in, to log out, or to fill in something, to fill in a form. So I just show this to them and they can see that they don't even realize, but they are using phrasal verbs. Okay, so if they say, no, we really don't know, or I don't understand, I don't know how to use them, how to use in a sentence. So I've got these sentences here. This is a matching exercise. It's actually very easy because look, we just have to find to match the phrasal verb. In the example, yeah, it's here. So you see, it's a matching exercise, and it's not rocket science, but it's just for the students to practice a bit and to understand that phrasal verbs are everywhere, and probably they do know more than they think. Well, having said that, let me just show you some of my favorite activities to work on phrasal verbs. So the first one, well, actually, I haven't named it, but I would call it something like just Dr. Google or something like that. So basically, you just have to pick a verb and some prepositions that could possibly go with the verb. So I've got up, over, on, with, read off, through to. So instead of asking the student to give you the meaning, to tell you the meaning, to give an example with this phrasal verb, you are going to go to Google together and you are going to type the phrasal verb in there. So the first one is to get up. You type in there, you go to images, and you're going to see what comes up. So in this case, look, we've got loads of images of a boy, well, a girl as well, a lady here getting up. So you have to obviously explain to the student the difference between wake up and get up if they don't know, but the students can see the action. So this is going to make them not just memorize, but learn much better. Okay, so looking at this, well, so what do you think get up means? And they can tell you. So now can you give me examples? What time do you get up? Is it the same time as you wake up? And then you can ask them questions, about the same phrasal verb to really check understanding and to see if they're able to use it. Oh, you can even search this as homework, just send them 2 or 3 verbs with possible prepositions and ask them to look up for image on Google. Instead of looking up at the dictionary for the meaning, look for image and try to make examples, try to create sentences with these phrasal verbs or even a story. Okay, so very nice one, because usually most students, they are very visual. So if they see something, they learn better. So this is certainly going to help them. So the second idea is not actually an activity, it's a bunch of nice activities by the British Council. So if you watched my videos before, you probably know that I'm British Council's biggest fan. I really like, their website, because they do have loads of nice ready-to-use materials that can make our lives easier. So this is the case with phrasal verbs as well. So if you go on Google and just type fast phrasals British Council or phrasal verbs British Council, you're going to see, this website is going to come up. And they've got like a series, let's call it a series of comics, where they talk about phrasal verbs, and they also provide exercises. So you don't have to prepare anything. You just have to print things out or take a screenshot in case we're teaching online, and you can do the exercises. Even the transcript is there, and the answers as well, if you don't want to think too much. So let me just show you how I work with this. So I'm going to show you this one, Best Mates. This is one of my favorite ones. They are short videos, which is great. If you've got to show them twice or 3 times or 4 times, you can do it, because it's not even 2 minutes long. And what to do is I just ask them, to grab pen and paper when we are going to watch this video twice, okay? So first thing you're going to have to do is just pay attention to the phrasal verbs. It's a bit easy because, as you can see, phrasal verbs, they are in red. So I just ask them to give me the phrasal verb in the bare form, no conjugated. So instead of finds out, it's going to be find out. And they have to take notes, to write them down while they watch the video. The second time, they're just going to watch with no pen, no paper. They're just going to pay attention to it to try to understand the context, okay? Or you can do this the other way around. It's kind of interchangeable. And then you're going to say, well, I haven't watched the video. Let's just pretend I was not watching. So tell me, please, what happened? What was the story? What was the context? Okay, so once they do that, you can work with the phrasal verbs, they collected. So give me the list of phrasal verbs you collected from the video and let's work on them. So give me an examples. Or in this situation, what would you do? Try to include a phrasal verb on this example as well. And if you run out of ideas, you can just work with the activities the British Council gives you. So there are loads of very nice ones. So look, I put some of them on my slides here. So first thing, for example, to check understanding of the story, you can ask the student to reorder the sentences. And well, there are not many phrasal verbs here, but they are going to understand the context and everything. Or maybe we can do this one. This looks terrible. Every time I show my students a screen like that, they go like, whoa, so this looks very bad, but it's not that bad. So look, if you just highlight the phrasal verbs there, students can see that they have to fill the blanks, but they also have the meanings here. So that's actually very easy. If you discuss the phrasal verbs before the exercise, they're going to know, look, Sam sees Laura with another boy and thinks she is. The meaning is having a secret romantic relationship while going out with. Okay, so this is probably cheating on. Okay, yeah, that's it. So they are conjugated there, so it makes it even easier. And they can practice. This is a bit of controlled, obviously, it's a controlled practice, but at the same time, they are seeing how the phrasal verbs work in the context. Okay, so another one that they offer us on the website is just to reorder the words. So instead of he with her up break, he broke up with her. So students can see these phrasal verbs in the past as well, with the tenses in the future or in the past. Another one they've got here is very nice one. Is just to try to fill the gaps and to recreate the story with the phrasal verbs. And they even give students the opportunity to practice the same phrasal verbs in other contexts. So look, this is gap fill exercise, and students have to use exactly the same phrasal verbs that we've seen in the video, but with other type of vocabulary. So what I usually do is I take a screenshot of this and send it to the student as homework. Okay, so very good, loads of different things you can do, and very engaging and fun. And the last suggestion for today is analyzing songs. So yeah, I know probably you're thinking, well, this is not new. And I'm not saying the activities are new, I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I'm just showing some activities that can be easy to use, and they are engaging. They motivate students to learn phrasal verbs. So what I do in this case is I don't do the typical, let's listen to the song together and fill in the gaps, right? Otherwise, this would be a listening exercise. And here I'm talking about phrasal verbs. So what I usually do is I choose a song with phrasal verbs, and I send the song, the link on YouTube with lyrics to my student before the class. Okay, so in this case, I chose Shape of You of Ed Sheeran. There are loads of phrasal verbs there. So I'm going to say, right, listen to the song, but at the same time, you're going to pay attention to the lyrics, and you're going to try to understand the story, if there is a story, okay? So what is the message the singer is trying, to pass? What is the song about? And they will try to do this, and sometimes they don't even realize there are phrasal verbs there, because they're just going to listen for gifts. So coming to the class, I'm going to ask them, okay, tell me about the song. Do you like it? Do you like the singer? So we can do this as a bit of a warm-up, so what do you know about the singer? Do you like this type of music and this kind of stuff? And then we are going to analyze the language. All right, so once I check understanding, once I check the student understood what the song is about, we are going to go and look specifically into phrasal verbs. So in this case, look, for example, let's start with come over and start up. So what is the context here? What does he want to say? And if you could change this phrasal verb for a sentence, what would be the sentence? So instead of start up, what could you say? Begin. Can you say begin with? Is this the same thing? So we just do this analysis together. And obviously, at the end of the lesson, we can listen to the song together and we can sing together. Well, you don't want to hear me singing, but we can do it, because it's fun. It's fun, and we are going to have a good laugh with your student. Okay, and that's it for today. I hope your students end up loving phrasal verbs and loving you as well. Okay, and if you love me, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, share my videos, comment, and that's it. Don't forget, I'm on Instagram as well. I've got some nice stuff for ESL teachers there, and on Facebook. Okay, so yeah, I will keep you busy. Happy teaching.